Goeienaand, good evening, fellow South Africans and other subscribers around the world. Okay, this is a shout out to Jay, who sent me a very interesting article, and it's one that's very relevant to this channel because it's about taxes when you migrate away from South Africa. So if you're considering migrating out of South Africa, this is what you need to know about tax and your finances before leaving the country. While South African citizens temporarily work overseas are still subject to South African tax laws, individuals who wish to permanently emigrate to a new country need to ensure that they follow the correct steps to enable them to take their savings with them and avoid running up against unnecessary tax problems down the line. This is according to Daniel Baines, tax consultant, who said that individuals who emigrate to new tax jurisdictions could face problems in withdrawing their retirement annuities if they wait too long before getting their tax affairs in order. One of the main problems is that withdrawing your RA requires up-to-date tax returns to be submitted, he said. If you have not applied to the South African Reserve Bank to no longer be considered as a South African resident for exchange control purposes prior to emigration, and you subsequently do not file South African tax returns for a number of years after emigrating, gaining access to your South African RA may prove difficult. Baines said that it is therefore vital for all South African citizens thinking about emigrating to get all their tax affairs in order as quickly and efficiently as possible. To fully emigrate, Baines says the following steps are absolutely crucial. Ensure that your South African tax returns are up to date. Apply to SARS for an emigration tax clearance certificate. And apply to the South African Reserve Bank to formally emigrate. Baines notes that the first two steps can be carried out by a tax advisor, but the third step must be handled by a South African bank. He states that individuals who choose to not leave the country permanently need to still make it a priority to file their tax returns. He said, if tax returns are not filed while you live and work abroad, it may prove to be very difficult to get your South African tax affairs in order when you decide to become a permanent resident in a foreign country. Another important point to note, according to Baines, is that South Africans under the age of 55, unless the RA is worth 7,000 Rand or less, will not be able to withdraw funds from the RA unless they formally emigrate. He says, if you do not formally emigrate and leave your RA in South Africa by only bringing it to your new country when you retire, there is a good chance that this asset would also have devalued significantly due to a potentially weaker rand in the future. Another common reason for South African citizens to consider formally emigrating is when they have received a large inheritance in South Africa, as they may have issues getting the inheritance out of the country unless they formally emigrate. To avoid any issues or delays when you plan to formally emigrate, it is advisable to get your tax affairs in order sooner rather than later, Baines said. Now, I just want to add to that a couple of things. The first thing is that when I left South Africa in, when was it? It was in 1986. As a family, I was only allowed to take out 15,000 Rand in cash. That was it. Now, apparently you can take out more today, which is a step in the right direction. But getting back to the RA and these pension funds, economists have just today issued a serious warning as they fear public pension funds will be used to fill Eskom's massive black hole of debt. Mike Schussler shares other economists' fears and says that such rumors have been around for 11 months. Eskom's debt burden may rise to 600 billion Rand over the next few years, and businessmen reckon Eskom will not get rid of the huge debt burden again unless skilled people take over control and get rid of the hundreds of redundant workers. Now, I talked about this yesterday with the government now decreeing that pension funds, a portion of your pension fund must be used to fund state-owned enterprises like ESCOM. This is a hugely disturbing development because it's basically a corrupt organization and that money's going to disappear. Anyway, look, I wanted to share with you that comment about tax and migrating because it's a very, very important issue that we haven't discussed before. All right, guys, please remember to subscribe to be kept informed and have a great evening. Bye for now.